Look, everyone, I'm just happy that a trade has gone down where I am already here for it. Because every time I leave this desk, a trade happens. It happened this morning with Dejanay Carrington. I was out of the house, but now we get a trade that happens. And it's not the most star-studded move, but it actually is one of my favorite moves of the WNBA offseason so far from any team. And we're about to dive into it because the Chicago Sky have made a fantastic trade. Before we get into that, I do want to give a little shout out because Andrew has a whole free agency breakdown that dropped before this Rebecca Allen trade. But you can find that in the description below, nocatspacewbb.com, with breakdowns to every team, a vibe check on every team, and including a little bit of nuggets of information that we've been able to pick up, including a potential Fever free agent target. But let's get into this deal with the Chicago Sky acquiring Rebecca Allen, Annie Costabile. Fantastic. She's been all over it. Trading Rebecca Allen, trading Allen and Milic away. First off, Rebecca Allen is literally the perfect fit here. I mean, there's the perfect fit when it comes to wanting to put players around Angel and Camilla. I'm not sure you could have found a better player in that way of a veteran, easily acquirable player, a realistic option. I don't know if you could have found a better deal than this to get Rebecca Allen. But also, this second tweet down here from Annie. This move makes it more likely that the Sky will hold on to their number 3 pick. As I've always said, this will only package it for an all-star caliber player. Adding Allen gives them a reliable scorer who can space the floor. The Chicago Sky could not have operated this offseason better in terms of knowing their timeline. This is not the all-in year for the Chicago Sky. And when, there was a little bit of steam kind of picking up about the idea of them trading the number 3 pick, I was very vocal on these lives about do not trade that pick. There is no reason to trade that pick. And instead, what they've done is, one, convince Courtney Vandersloot to come and play and be back at Chicago, which initially it sounded like they were going to have to trade the number 3 pick to make win now moves in order to do that. And now they've gone and gotten Rebecca Allen, who, again, I don't know, with the floor spacing, with the defense that she can provide, when it comes to surrounding your 2 star players with the perfect match on the outside in that 3 position. I don't know if there's a better player in the league right now that can fit just in terms of what exactly the prototype of player that you want next to your 2 all-star bigs. I'm not sure there's a better one in the league right now than Rebecca Allen. And I'll tell you right now, if you take that number 3 pick and you go and draft Sonia Citron out of Notre Dame, that's Rebecca Allen light. And so you get 2 3-and-D monsters as the league continues to kind of move into, we see several teams now moving into the emphasis of the 3-point line. It's the perfect middle ground to me. Of 3, you get your floor spacing on offense, you get your defensive, like you're not a liability on defense, and then the paint is on lockdown already with Camilla and Angel. I mean, truly speaking, the fact that they were able to fill their hole at point guard with Courtney Vandersloot and go and get, again, out of any non-superstar player, if I could have fantasy booked this free agency and, okay, what vets would fit with the Chicago Sky right now? I think Rebecca Allen would be if not at the very top of that list, near it. I cannot rave enough about the way that the Chicago Sky have handled this free agency. I was critical of the idea of the Sparks trading their number 2 pick and going to get Kelsey Plum. It could work out. It couldn't. It's kind of like TBD, but I don't think the Sparks are winning now. And now you kind of have conflicting timelines a little bit for Los Angeles. We'll have to see how it plays out, and I could just be wrong on that. But we'll have to see how that plays out. But for Chicago, these are the type of players that bridge your success, right? Bringing Courtney Vandersloot in is a success bridger. That means you are getting immediate impact right now. You get a starting point guard. You get a point guard that can feed your superstars the ball and can make them better and make the guards on this roster better. And then you get Rebecca Allen, who just makes life so much easier for the rest of this roster across the board. And you do that without sacrificing the building that you've already done. And knowing that the number 3 pick is on the way. Knowing that you own the rights to swap picks with Connecticut next year. Like, the way that the Sky are building, again, it was never going to be this year for Chicago. And they might be a playoff team, or they can be better. But in terms of competing for the championship, that wasn't going to be this year. And so the strategy, the avoidance of the impulse to try and win now is going to pay off massively. I really, truly believe that. And again, this is what I wanted to see from the teams that are not winning now, is the idea of what's next. And Chicago needed some vets, and Chicago had some very key positions that needed help in just in the sense of depth, in the sense of talent, and they went and filled both of those positions. They went and filled the veteran presence. Again, I could not be like this. I'm ecstatic about this move. I absolutely adore it. I mean, from the Sun perspective here, this is exactly what you should be doing. Bottom out. Again, the pick swap sucks, but frankly, if you're Connecticut right now, and I've talked about this, this is what you should be doing. No one wants to be in the middle. And if you, let's say, in the hypothetical, you keep Natasha Cloud, you keep Marina Mabrey, you keep Rebecca Allen, you might be a playoff team. Maybe, if you keep DeJounte as well. Like, you might be a playoff team, but then what? After the CBA negotiations. And so right now, you might be the worst team in the WNBA for several years. But frankly, in Connecticut, with the current inability to fund facilities, it seems like, this is the way. This is what you have to do if you are Connecticut. You have to build through the draft. And like, this is, again, this might not even be for the 26th draft. I would have liked to see them try and get a pick. I would have loved the idea of trying to remove the swap if you're Connecticut. But again, I mean, frankly, you're looking at what might be the number 1 pick in next year's draft that Chicago has the rights to. So, like, they weren't going to give that up easily, But I would, any way that they can find their way back, the Connecticut Sun's goal should be to own these next couple drafts. Pure volume of picks, everything, because that is how Connecticut is going to succeed right now, is through the draft, where you have long-term control over these players, just from a contractual lens in that way. I saw Andrew on social media make a couple of points of, like, I think that there are players that can get behind living in Connecticut, even, in the more low-key area. But ultimately, you have to catch up in the facility race. And right now, there's nothing that we've heard about that for Connecticut. I mean, it's kind of a wasteland right now. But the idea of bottoming out in this way, I'll tell you right now, Natasha Cloud should be on the move. Marina Mabrey should be on the move. Like, it's not going to be fun. It's not going to be enjoyable. It's not going to be fun basketball to watch. But for the long-term good and the idea of 2027 and the idea of trying to make your back way into the 2026 draft, I feel like this is the way for Connecticut. So I love the direction of both of these teams right now. Again, not the direction you want to be going in if you're Connecticut, but ultimately it is the direction I feel like you have to go in. And for Chicago, again, it couldn't have been executed better. I was not moved at all by any of the names thrown around for that number 3 pick, and instead of just drafting at 3. I think you're going to draft even more shooting at 3. I mean, Sonia from Notre Dame just seems like the perfect fit right here. And especially if she gets to learn from Rebecca Allen. Like, that is the perfect succession there of, and truly, like, I think 3-and-D is going to become an increasingly popular archetype in the WNBA. And Sonia, to me, can be a superstar level 3-and-D player, if that makes sense. Like, you can go be an all-star off playing off the 3-and-D capabilities that Sonia is going to have. And again, that is the perfect fit next to Angel and Camilla. And so Rebecca Allen is exactly in that same mold and is the perfect fit next to Angel and Camilla. So, I mean, this is an absolute home run deal for this guy. And I can't wait to see who they pick at 3. I mean, obviously, Olivia Miles is another name you could throw in there as just a potential. If she finds her way there at 3, Sonia feels the most likely move. And I think that if you leave with Sonia, you're leaving very happy. And to tell you from firsthand, talking to him at the game, that Tyler Marsh has been at Notre Dame game scouting. He was there at the USC game in LA where we had boots on the ground. Like, it feels like it's bound to be a Notre Dame guard. It's just a matter of which one is my current take on it right now. But again, the Chicago Sky have cooked this offseason. I was worried. I saw that there was the rumor swirling. There was a talks of trade number 3. I was nervous. I was worried. But now, and again, we'll have to see what other moves are on the way. But I truly believe that Rebecca Allen is a floor raiser for the Chicago team and can genuinely push them into the playoffs. And I mean, they were nearly there last year, but this is the type of player that on a consistent basis can raise your floor for this team and find your way into the playoffs. And it's just the perfect. I mean, I keep saying it, I keep harping on it, but I'm incredibly moved by this trade. It is the perfect move next to Camilla and Angel. I couldn't be happier. If I'm a Chicago fan, I am ecstatic about this trade. I'm ecstatic about the addition of Courtney Vandersloot, even if it's just kind of a 1-year stopgap for Sloot. Like, that is the type of player that you want to be signing right now. 10 out of 10. Bravo to the Chicago Sky front office. And to the Sun, Tank Commander Tyler is here with you, and I think you're doing the right move. But look, free agency, we thought it was kind of slowing down. It kind of felt like Satu was like the last big move, but then we get Dejanay. Then we get this, again, which isn't a star-studded move, but this is a championship-level move in the sense of the top-tier moves in the WNBA and making trades for players that fit your roster. That is what the Chicago Sky front office just did. I'm ecstatic about it. Who knows what is going to be coming down the pipeline. Again, go check out our free agency article to get a full breakdown of every team and where Andrew has them graded right now and the vibe scale of and how we're feeling about everything. And again, the little tidbits of information that we've heard, you can find that in the description below at nocastspacewbb.com. But Chicago Sky, round of applause. Round of applause. Make sure you guys subscribe here and on the website so you're not missing out on any reactions, any news, anything that we have going on. College season is in full way. There's so much going on in women's basketball right now. You don't want to miss out on any of it. And it's a big month for No Cap Space, so be on the lookout. It's February. It's officially here now. It's a big month for No Cap Space, so be on the lookout for some big announcements down the road, and we'll see you next time.